Tensions flare in Salina this evening as residents voice their opinion on the closure of Mercelina Mobile Court. Elise Dolinar has more on this story.
Salina City Council met this evening for a special hearing on what's going to happen with the Mercelina Mobile Court. Residents of the trailer park recently received word that they would be out of a home in 6 months because the park landowners are no longer able to keep up with the burden of maintaining the property. The city was presented with the option of purchasing the land to build a community park. These are the direct wishes of the property owners.
Their wishes are very specific that it be turned into a park. And so they actually contacted the city, and part of the agreement is that they're going to close the park, but specifically they're going to close a mobile home park, specifically for a park for the city of Salina.
While tonight's meeting served to vote on legislation authorizing the purchase of the land by the city, the sole decision to evict was up to the landowners. Regardless if the city purchases the land or not, residents must still find a new place to live. For most of the residents, this news comes as a shock, and some are still trying to process what comes next.
Just in shock. I feel sick to our stomach and everything else that we're losing our home.
Residents are left with no options but to move. However, for many, financially, that is impossible.
It's going to cost $8,000 to $10,000 to move. I don't have that money.
Many have called the Mercelina Mobile Court home for years, some even saying this was to be their life home. Now, residents must spend this holiday season searching for a new one. In Salina, Elise Dolinar, Your News Now.
The first day of summer arrives this Saturday, but temperatures are already on the rise. Now that people are spending more time outside, they need to be aware of what their body is telling them. Elise Dolinar has the story.
Summer is a great time to get outside, do some gardening, play some sports, and hang by the pool. But it's not all fun and games. People need to be aware of the effects the sun and heat have on their body.
Definitely have to watch out with these warmer temperatures for signs of heat stroke, heat exhaustion, which can be anything from muscle cramps to sometimes a little bit of confusion as well.
Young children and elderly individuals are the most susceptible to heat stroke and heat exhaustion. So it's important to keep an eye on them in warmer temperatures and when they are outside.
The little children aren't going to tell you, "Mommy, I'm hot." They're going to basically come in with the kind of little bit of the redness and equivalent of a sunburn. The elderly also they tend not to drink as much water, so that's something to be definitely taking note of.
Another major problem that arises in the summer months is the risk of leaving children or pets in a hot car. Never leave them in the car, even if you think you'll be back in a few minutes. With 90-degree heat outside, temperatures inside your car will heat up to well past 100 degrees in only a matter of minutes. I put a thermometer in one of our news cars here at the station, and within 5 minutes, the temperature inside the car had reached over 100 degrees. In another 5 minutes, the temperature was up to 112, and after 30 minutes of being in the car, the internal temperature read 127 degrees. Imagine what those temperatures could do to a child or pet.
We always read about each year, especially around this time, of parents thinking, "Oh, I'm just going to run in the store very quickly. It'll only be a minute." The problem is that can kill children. That can basically give a heat stroke and cause a lot of permanent damage.
We all hate hearing about the reports of heat-related deaths in the news, but they can be prevented. Simple ways of ensuring summer heat safety include staying cool and hydrated, as well as taking breaks and limiting sun exposure. It's important that we listen to our bodies when they tell us to take a break. In Lima, Elise Dolinar, Your News Now.
A local youth shelter is seeking further community support in order to help teens in need.
Elise Dolinar has the story.
Day-to-day life can be hard for some teens. Perhaps they are dealing with a crisis at home or are just trying to get away from trouble. In times like these, it's important for them to have a safe place to come to and figure things out. Safe Harbor offers teens ages 12 to 18 just that. The shelter aims to reunify youth and their families by offering a community-based approach to treatment.
We really want to provide a good community support for these kids because many of these youth that come to our shelter do not have a lot of extended family support, and that makes it very difficult. We all know it takes a community to raise a child.
The shelter provides several different services to runaway youth, including a crisis hotline, day services, overnight shelter, and prevention and education groups that are funded by the local mental health board.
If youth just want to come in for a group to help them cope with their anger better, manage their social skills better, communicate better, they certainly can come into those groups, and they're welcome to visit our website.
While the shelter is federally funded, those funds only provide for a small percentage of their actual shelter costs. They currently receive funding from several community organizations, but are looking to see support for the shelter grow. To get more information on the shelter and how you can help, visit their website at www.safeharbor4youth.org. In Lima, Elise Dolinar, Your News Now.
Well, exercise is a great way to start the day, and now students at a local school are starting their day the right way. Elise Dolinar has the story.
What better way to start the day than with a little exercise? That's the idea that started the walking club at South Science and Technology Magnet School. The club meets every morning for 30 minutes before classes begin and gets students out of the cafeteria and on their feet.
To get the kids out of from sitting in the cafeteria in the mornings, we started a walking club, and a grant came across the principal's desk, and that would fit right in with the walking club.
The Action for Healthy Kids grant is a national grant for schools that provides funds for healthy activities outside of phys ed class and recess. The grant has made it possible to purchase tools that will build upon the existing club.
We're able to buy pedometers. We're going to keep track of how many steps each class does. We're going to track it across America. We were able to buy prizes.
Some kids come to school early because of buses, and this gets their bodies moving and brains ready to learn. It also helps to give them an extra boost of energy as well as release extra energy.
It helps me because I lose the energy and I'm not hyper while I'm in class. I like about walking and around laps.
Walking Club seems to be a success, and all of those involved hope it is a program that will continue to grow. In Lima, Elise Dolinar, Your News Now.
Okay, thank you, Elise. Unity Elementary is also trying to implement a program similar to this for their students in the near future.